Welcome to another episode of Cooking with Kids. Today what are we going to be making today?
We're going to be making some gluten-free spaghetti with some homemade tomato sauce and some turkey and some chopped up vegetables.
That's right. So for starters, I've got the water already. Now, I deal with boiling water. The kids don't deal with boiling water yet. And I've got my daughter, my 7-year-old helper today, who's going to be helping me make it. And we've got the pot for the sauce all heated up and ready to go. Now I have all of my vegetables and everything all ready and pre-chopped ready to go. So here we have, underneath, you can't quite see it there, but underneath we have 2 pieces of celery all diced up, 1 onion, 3 pieces of garlic. Here we've got some ground turkey that we're going to be adding. We have 2 tablespoons of basil, 2 tablespoons of oregano, some salt. We've got this lighting in this kitchen is terrible. We have 1 red pepper chopped up, and how many carrots? I think I grated up 2 carrots. I grate the carrots up just because they kind of mix in better with the sauce a little bit. And then we've got our tomato sauce and tomato paste ready to add in later. So let's start off. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of, we use coconut oil, so 2 tablespoons of coconut oil, please.
Okay. And then?
Yeah.
Now do it, man.
Okay, next we're going to be adding the celery, garlic, and onion mixture.
Okay, just put it in there because it's so...
Yep, here I'll put the lid on that and get that out of the way for you.
There.
Okay, so now the celery, garlic, and onion mixture, please.
Okay.
Now it's really easy to get your kids involved and started in the kitchen. My kids have been involved in the kitchen. My daughter started in the kitchen back when she was almost a baby. So you can use your hand to scoop it out if you need to. I just let her just play with food and experiment with her. If I was cooking food, I'd give her a tomato to play with, or just something to get her involved with. And as she got older and older, it just kind of progressed into an everyday activity. Okay, now you need to give that a stir. So when you're stirring and working with the stove, what are some...
Do I need one?
Pardon me?
Do I need one?
No, we're going to stir this up first. Yeah. So what are some things that we need to remember when we're working with a hot stove?
Make sure that you're tall enough so your chest is higher than the top of the stove, and make sure you wear your long sleeve shirt because then the water could splatter up and it won't hit your clothes, it would hit you.
That's right. Now, is it a good idea just to jump in and just start using the hot stove and hot pans without really practicing or getting rules or anything first?
You have to know the rules and stuff. And if you're dealing with, if you're older and you're dealing with boiling water, you should always have an adult with you, and you have to learn how to do it before doing it.
That's right. So what are some of the rules that we have in our kitchen?
Never do anything with boiling hot water without an adult, and you have to ask an adult in order to play with the stove, and I can't think of anything else.
Being safe?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we're ready for the ground turkey now. Now, whoopsies, just for
This out.
sanitary reasons, I'm dealing with the raw meat here. So let's dump that ground turkey in there and pull that out there. Now, now you start stirring that up, and while you stir that up, I'm going to wash my hands up here to get that chicken off. There we go.
So you can get it apart here.
It is. So you can see she's in there and she's mashing it around, getting it all mixed together.
First of all, after I mash it up, I'll just mix it around.
This lighting is difficult to work with. So what are some of your favorite things to cook?
Just things that are healthy for you and really delicious, and just things that are really good, and I just like cooking of stuff. Something that I like about cooking is that it doesn't really have any rules to it. You can just play around with it. It isn't like driving or anything. It's just like like with driving, you have to stay on one part of the road and you have to follow the same speed limit. But with cooking, it's kind of like you can just make up your own thing, kind of like art.
Okay, that's really clever. So there really are no rules, are there? Oh.
Except the rules to be safe.
That's right. Okay, so now I think we're ready for our spice mixture. So let's take the spice mixture and mix it in.
Okay.
There we go, make sure you get it all in there. So if you could pick 3 of your favorite things to make in the kitchen, what would they be?
Everything that's delicious.
Well, now what are some of the things that you're able to make all by yourself? There are a few things that you can make all on your own.
I'm pretty sure I can make pancakes, but I haven't done it in a long time, or maybe I have done it before. I can make scrambled eggs very, very easily, but I don't like having to do it because it takes a while and I have to wait for it. Actually, it doesn't take like as long as waffles or anything. It's just, I don't like having to cook it.
So what are some of your favorite things to eat?
Spaghetti! Lasagna! Homemade lasagna!
What are some of the things you like about working in the kitchen?
I just like everything about it.
Okay, so we're ready for some salt. So now with the salt, I want you to take your hand like this, and you're going to come and you're going to pinch out some salt.
I know how to do that. Stop telling you everything. Oh no.
Okay. Now, add a little more, please. Okay, now we're ready for the peppers and tomato.
And I don't
Yep.
even mix it? Okay.
We're ready for the peppers and the carrots. Now when I am cooking, I do like to try and cram extra vegetables in wherever I can, just because. And normally I would add in a grated zucchini or 2, but if you take a look outside, I don't exactly want to go out into the garden to pick a zucchini right now because we have a massive thunderstorm and it's pouring out there. So we're skipping the zucchini today. Okay, so give that a stir, please.
Okay. Yes, my tea.
Okay, so now when you're stirring, what are some important things to remember?
Don't like fling your spoon up or anything.
What'll happen if you fling up your spoon?
It will splatter all over your face, and it could really burn you, and it's just too dangerous.
That's right. So what's the best way to stir then? If you could tell somebody 2 tips for if there's a kid starting out there in the kitchen, if you could give them 2 starter tips for stirring when they're on the stove, what would you say?
Just don't like go crazy or anything with it, and just be in control of it, and just I know 2 different ways to stir that works really good. Back and forth each way, then another way too, and then just all over, or just stirring like normal in circles.
Okay, nice and controlled.
Did you notice that I'm holding of how I write?
What do you mean?
Like you know how you hold a pencil when you're trying to sketch or anything?
Oh, you
I'm
hold it
holding
like you're
that.
writing.
Yeah. With this, you're not really in control, right?
Oh, okay. So you feel like you have more control when you hold it like that? Okay, so I'm just going to jump in here really quickly, just to make sure that everything's getting a good mix.
You're weird.
Why do you say that?
Is he jumping all the time?
Because I'm always jumping in?
Yes. I'm pretty sure you cannot see me right now, because you cannot.
No, because we're looking at the food.
Hello
Okay.
now.
Okay, so now we've got that mixed in there. And so now what we're going to do is now we are going to add the tomatoes.
Okay.
So I've got some diced tomatoes just because I prefer not to have to dice them up myself. But if you buy whole tomatoes, sometimes the whole tomatoes are nice. Or if you like them chopped up, another trick too is you can just take a knife inside the can and you can quickly dice them up in the can as well. That's another trick as well. Or you can put them in the pot, chop them up in the pot. You can put a spoon underneath it and cut them up that way. Or just buy the diced tomatoes if that's how you like them. Okay, so now when you're pouring stuff into the pot, you need to remember, especially with kids, sometimes they'll hold them up a little higher. You need to make sure that they know to hold it down low enough and to pour it in slowly so they don't get the back splatter. Okay, so go ahead and pour in the tomatoes. So put it low down in the pot, a little bit lower. There we go, and pour it in there. Good job. Oh, we got a little bit of a spill there, but that happens.
It happens every now and then. Sometimes even adults do it.
It does happen, doesn't it? Okay, now we've got one more can.
Another can.
So
Seriously, another can.
put it a little bit lower. Lower it down a little bit lower. There we go. There we go. Now pour it in. There we go. So now we've got our tomatoes in there. Okay, so give that a stir. Oh, my tomato paste. Oh, and we've got the tomato paste as well. So there's the tomato paste. Yep. We're going to use the same spoon that we used for the coconut oil. So it's got a little coconut oil on there, but that's fine. One less dish to wash.
Is the tomato paste good? I haven't tried it plain.
You haven't tried it plain? Well, you scoop that in there and then you can try a little bit with your finger and tell me what you think.
Thank you.
Okay, so now also with the cans, I have already taught my daughter, she already knows how, that the top is sharp and to be careful and you don't run your finger along the top of the can where the sharpness is. And so that is something that is important to run past the kids.
That's sad. Can't get that off of there.
Okay, have you got it all out there?
Almost.
Almost? Okay. There we go, let's give that a stir.
A little bit.
Sure, try it. What do you think? You like it? I was expecting a bit of a different reaction. All right. To each their own, I guess. Okay, now...
Oh, still some more in there.
Okay. So now let's give that a stir around. It's going to be thick, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold... Oh, we got another splatter.
That's fine.
So now while you're stirring it, it's going to be thick,
face.
so I'm going to hold on to the pot to make sure that the pot doesn't move on her too much.
Can I do it too?
Yeah, and now give it a stir. Now this pot has the silicone handle so they don't get too hot, but if they do, always test it first before your kid goes to grab it because an oven mitt may be in order.
This one isn't hot at all.
No, it's not. Okay, and so we're going to give that one final stir, and then what we're going to do, at the very end, I almost forgot about it. Excuse me, please. My own little secret trick. Pardon the
I didn't know that.
camera
You do that. Yay!
Yes, I'm going to put in
your secret.
a tablespoon of balsamic vinegar. It gives it just a little bit of a little punch, and plus a little added sweetness.
Now mix it.
Now mix it all up. Okay, so remember the rules of mixing, right?
No, I was trying to get you to say that.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Okay. And now, once that's all mixed up, what we're going to do is we're going to let that cook while the hot water boils, and then by the time the spaghetti is done, the sauce should be all finished up. So I'm going to give it one final little stir.
Oh,
so can you hold
that is
on?
how you make sauce?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that. No fair. Yeah, now I know though.
Now you know. So now one final stir. This is difficult, holding a camera in hand.
You want me to hold it for you?
Yes, please. Those head cameras are suddenly making so much more sense to me right now. Okay, so now that is
That's all.
that is all done. Where did I put my lid? Oh great, I don't know where the lid is. Anyways, while I'm finding the lid, I am going to put the hot water on to boil. And as soon as the hot water is done, I'm going to put the noodles on, obviously. And we're just going to let this cook. I'm going to let it cook at a decent temperature. I will be putting the lid on. And just continue stirring it. You may want to test for some extra spices if you might want to add some more salt. I forgot pepper, so I will be putting some pepper into it right before I put the lid on. And then, once the pasta is done, you scoop it up on top. And we really like to finish it up with a little bit of cheese. And so here's a trick that I'm going to show you for getting your kids to grate cheese, because I know even as an adult, I have grated my fingers more than once. And with children, you always worry that they're going to grate their fingers. So here's my trick. I grab, just one sec. I get a bigger piece of cheese than we will need, so then the kids don't need to worry about getting their fingers too close to it. So we're only going to be using probably about this much cheese. But I've got this big of a block to give her fingers some room to play with. So here we go. So you show us how we're going to grate some cheese up. Go ahead and do it.
First of all, can I please tell you that I've only hurt my fingers, but not even cut them once in my life. I've only put them down and make a tiny little mark once.
That's great, and that's because you practice safety, right?
Yes.
So come on over here, climb down from your chair, and show me how you grate the cheese without doing your nails. Now, it does take them a little bit longer to do it, just because, but just be patient with them and let them figure it out.
Just because we're kids.
That's right, but just be patient and let them figure out, and that's half the fun of it. Yeah, so you can see with the bigger block of cheese, her fingers aren't getting close to the grater, and you don't need to worry about her grating off a knuckle.
Yeah, it's so hard to hold this whole thing when it's so long. Hey.
It is, isn't it? So, I hope that you enjoyed this episode of Cooking with Kids and making our homemade...
Don't say it's over.
Don't say it's over. We'll be back tomorrow with some more.
No.
And so I hope that you enjoyed today's episode of Cooking with Kids, making our delicious homemade ground turkey tomato sauce, along with our pasta noodles that we're going to be making for it. And we hope to see you soon. Have a great night. Enjoy your dinner.